Hello and welcome to Fact Pan-o-rama, the channel that brings you amazing facts from all over the world. Today, we're going to delve into the fascinating world of human behavior and psychology. But before we begin, we want to thank you for tuning in and invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more great content. Now, when it comes to human behavior, there's no shortage of interesting facts. From the way we think and feel to the way we interact with each other and the world around us, human behavior is complex and endlessly fascinating. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed as we share 50 little-known and fascinating facts about human behavior. Here are 50 fascinating and lesser-known facts about human behavior. People are more likely to remember things that happened to them in their late teens and early 20s. When people feel rejected, their brain responds similarly to physical pain. Happiness is contagious. Being around happy people can make you happier. People who multitask often have trouble focusing on a single task. Smiling, even if you don't feel happy, can boost your mood and make you feel better. People tend to underestimate how much time they spend on their phones or social media. Talking about yourself activates the same pleasure centers in the brain as food and money. People tend to believe information that confirms their existing beliefs, and discount information that contradicts them. People who are more empathetic tend to have a stronger reaction to the sound of people chewing or other irritating noises. People tend to mimic the body language and behaviors of those around them, without even realizing it. People are more likely to be dishonest when they're tired or distracted. People who sleep more are generally happier and healthier than those who don't. Being outside in nature can have a calming effect on the mind and body. People are more likely to trust someone who has a similar speaking style to their own. People who are in love often experience a surge of dopamine, the same neurotransmitter that is activated by addictive drugs. People tend to be more creative when they're slightly tired or groggy. The color red can increase feelings of attraction and excitement. People who are more optimistic tend to live longer and have better health outcomes. People are more likely to make impulsive decisions when they're hungry. The way people dress and present themselves can have a major impact on how others perceive them. People are more likely to remember things that they've written down by hand, rather than typed on a computer. People who listen to music while exercising tend to exercise for longer and have a more positive experience. People who are more introverted tend to prefer spending time alone or in small groups, rather than large crowds. People are more likely to remember things that they've learned in a state of heightened emotion, whether positive or negative. People who are more anxious tend to have a harder time making decisions and taking risks. People are more likely to perceive someone as attractive if they've been told that the person is kind or generous. People who have experienced trauma are more likely to develop mental health issues later in life. People who are more conscientious tend to be more successful in their careers and personal lives. People are more likely to remember things that they've experienced while traveling, especially if it's a new or unusual experience. People who are more extroverted tend to be more outgoing and social, and enjoy being around other people. People are more likely to engage in risky behaviors when they're with a group of friends, rather than alone. People who are more curious tend to be more creative and innovative. People are more likely to experience anxiety or stress when they're in a cluttered or disorganized environment. People who are more confident tend to be more successful and have higher self-esteem. People are more likely to be influenced by people who are similar to them, whether in appearance, personality, or beliefs. People who are more resilient tend to be better able to handle stress and difficult situations. People are more likely to remember things that they've experienced while in a positive or happy mood. Group projects often result in social loafing, where individuals work less efficiently and effectively in a group than they would on their own. People tend to have more positive feelings towards people or things that they see repeatedly, known as the mere exposure effect. Humans are more likely to remember negative events than positive ones, a phenomenon known as negativity bias. People tend to have a greater willingness to help others who they perceive as similar to them, known as the similarity principle. People often believe they are better than average in various areas, a cognitive bias known as the illusory superiority or the above-average effect. People are more likely to conform to social norms when they are in a group, even if those norms go against their own beliefs or values. The presence of others can lead to social facilitation, where individuals perform better on simple tasks but worse on complex tasks. The Zeigarnik effect describes how people are more likely to remember and remain focused on unfinished tasks than on completed ones. People tend to attribute their successes to internal factors and their failures to external factors, a cognitive bias known as the self-serving bias. People's behaviors and attitudes can be influenced by a variety of factors, including social norms, cultural background, individual experiences, and cognitive biases. Understanding these influences can help us better understand and predict human behavior. People tend to underestimate the time it takes to complete a task, which can lead to procrastination and missed deadlines. The mere exposure effect refers to the phenomenon where people develop a preference for things simply because they are familiar with them. Mood-congruent memory is the tendency to remember information that is consistent with one's current mood or emotional state. Thank you for joining me today and exploring the fascinating world of human behavior with Fact Pan-o-rama. I hope you enjoyed discovering these 50 unheard facts and gained some valuable insights into the way we think, act, and interact with the world around us. I appreciate your support, comments, and feedback, and I invite you to stay tuned for more amazing content that will keep you informed, entertained, and inspired. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and feel free to suggest topics or questions you'd like me to cover in future videos. Thank you again, and see you soon on Fact Pan-o-rama.